Good morning, guys. It's early morning here in Japan and we have a typhoon raging outside, so my entire building is sort of heaving and creaking right now. I hope it's not picking up too much on the microphone. But we had a subscriber request yesterday for me to explain the word Oki and what that refers to. And I think it's important to remember that, we have a lot of very new people coming to the channel as well, so we need to talk about this sort of fundamental stuff every once in a while. And I know there's a lot of jargon, of course, in fighting games. So, I mean, you're looking at a stream or some sort of like tournament and the commentators are talking about Oki or Okizeme or Okizumi or Okizame or breakfast or wake-ups. And this is all referring to the exact same thing. So I just thought we'd sort of explain that quickly. So the original term Okizeme comes from Japanese. It's a Japanese compound word made up of two words. The words okiru, which is to wake up or to get up, and semeru, which means to pressure or to attack something. And so in Japanese, in case you're interested, Japanese people love to make these compound words because sometimes it takes a long time and it's a bother to pronounce long words in Japanese because they have so many unnecessary vowels everywhere and everything. So they love to make these compound words. So for example, saying Kentucky Fried Chicken in Japanese takes about half an hour, so Japanese people just call it kenchiki. They just take the stems of the first or those two words and put them together and make one word. And this is the exact same concept. And the reason it's pronounced Okizeme with a Z and not an S, not Okiseme, is when you do this, when you combine words like this in Japanese, the first letter of the second word often changes its pronunciation. So S's become Z's, H's become B's, K's become G's, and so on. It's just a very sort of annoying aspect of the Japanese writing system, but it's not something you need to worry about right now. But just from knowing these two words, to wake up and to attack, you probably understand that Okizeme or Oki refers to attacking people who are on the ground or who are trying to get up off of the ground. And that's really all it is. But it becomes a sort of deep and important concept because of how Tekken works. When you're knocked down on the ground, the options you have to get off the ground are kind of limited. I mean, there are a lot of different ways you can do it, but you're very limited if you compare to when you're actually standing up and you have access to basic movement, backdashing, and your entire moveset. And so your opponent is going to see that as an opportunity to apply some sort of setup or some sort of mix-up, and they can usually get good damage if they do that correctly. Sometimes even reset you into an entirely new combo. So yeah, that's what Oki refers to. I'm not going to talk about getting up off of the ground in this video because I think that needs to be a completely separate video because it's a kind of a big and difficult concept in Tekken, and so we need to make a different video on that where we talk exclusively about that. But what I want to do for now is just jump over to some gameplay and just show you a basic example of what it is I'm talking about. So for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a couple of seconds.
Okay, so apparently there's a typhoon inside the game today as well. So yeah, I just want to show you like a quick example of what I mean when we're talking about Oki. So right now I've set Leo to stay down on the ground after a knockdown like that. So say for example that I've knocked my opponent down in a match and I'm standing over them like this, and they haven't tech rolled because, I mean, we're going to talk about tech rolling in another video, but say for example that my opponent is staying down for now on the ground, which is a pretty safe option a lot of the time for the opponent. One thing I can do is I can use a ground hitting low, like down back 2 for example, to hit my opponent, or maybe like down 3 on the ground, and that's going to work. But say for example that my opponent is predicting this, they think I'm going to do this though, they actually have time to get up and then block this low, to crouch down and block this. And because down back 2 is so negative on block, that actually means that they can, punish me really hard, and I gotta be careful about that. So what I can do instead, for example, I can use something like back 4. Back 4 is another move that hits grounded, but it's actually a mid. And so what this means is, if my opponent stays on the ground, I get the same damage, but if they get up and crouch because they're looking for a low, because this move is a mid, it's going to be guaranteed and hit an opponent who is crouching as well. And so Gigas' back 4 is a good Oki tool because it covers, not only is it like good because it's going to hit grounded opponents, it actually covers more than one option, and so it becomes a better tool for Oki. And the thing about Oki is like you need to be aware of what kind of moves your character has access to and how they like to apply Oki. It's very character dependent. If you have a ground hitting mid, it's a great tool. I mean, Katarina has up back 4. Miguel has down 3+4 in this game and so on, so there's a lot of that stuff. But you just got to be aware. I mean, a lot of characters, we talked about Feng the other day and how he has 4tilde3, or Jack has 4/4/3, and these are moves that would like hit the opponent on the ground, but if they get up and block them, you actually get plus frames, and then you can go into like a setup. So that there are many different ways you can use your Oki to like create an opportunity, right? Two things I just want to go through before we wrap this up is what Oki is not. So I'm going to show you this quickly. If I do a counter hit down back 2, and I run up quickly and I do a back 4 like that on my opponent, you can see there's a combo counter that says 2-hit combo there on the side. This is a guaranteed hit. When I get a counter hit down back 2, I can get the stomp guaranteed. That time I wasn't fast enough, which is why I didn't register. Let's see here. Okay, and so this is not Oki, and the reason it's not Oki is because this is guaranteed damage, right? So this is essentially a combo. It's not referred to as a combo because combos are usually like longer and have spin moves in them and stuff, but it's essentially what it is. And applying guaranteed damage after a knockdown on an opponent is not Oki. Oki it's completely possible for your opponent to get out, but you're going to try and catch them making a mistake. That's what Oki is. And so the last thing I just want to show you that I think is important to know is when you're watching especially high level match footage, a lot of the time you see some of the players get a combo or a launch, and then they don't finish their combo. They end the combo in some sort of awkward looking way instead of doing like their high damage ender. And that is usually because to an opponent who is very, very good and who likes to make like predictions and play mind games with their opponent, Oki is so valuable that they will sacrifice the ender of a combo to get better Oki, get a better like opportunity to apply Oki. Because if they do that correctly, they can sometimes just reset into an entirely new combo, and 2 combos are better than 1, right? So a quick example I guess I could show you with Gigas is if I launch Leo here with my down 2, the optimal combo that I can do for damage looks like this. Okay, so I end with the excavator, and that's a 70 damage combo, and it's like the optimal combo I can do off of down 2 here in terms of damage. But the reason you see a lot of Gigas players not necessarily use that, the reason I don't use it, well, one reason is that it doesn't give you any kind of wall carry, right? But the other reason, if you're in the open, is that because if you look at this animation, excavator, the final hit right there, Gigas is like staying on the ground for like a long time before he recovers back up, and so it's going to take a long while before I'm able to move again and apply any kind of Oki. So what I like to do with Gigas instead is I do this combo. So what you saw right there is that the final hit knocks my opponent in the air, and while they're tumbling in the air, I actually have time to run up. And so when my opponent is on the ground and it's time for them to try and get up off the ground, I'm right next to them, right here, looking down, which means that I'm going to be able to apply Oki. And so that's another reason when you see like wall combos, if I like wall splat Leo here and I do like excavator, the recovery isn't really going to allow me for Oki all that much. But if I do like a different wall combo, like maybe I do something like that, that actually has a lot less recovery, meaning that I can go straight into some sort of like Oki option, right? And so that's a reason it's sometimes good to modify your combos for less damage, because you want to like apply Oki instead. And so that's just a balance that you need to be aware of. But yeah, I'm just going to cover the basic concept of Oki or Okizeme in Tekken. Hope it was useful. We're going to talk more like specifically in depth about a lot of this in other videos, but just look up what you can do for Oki with your character. It's very character specific, and the best way to learn is just watch a player who's very good with your character, and look at what they like to do for Oki in certain situations after certain knockdowns, especially after throws. Okizeme after throws is important because it's like a knockdown situation where you're usually very close to your opponent, and so it's a good opportunity for playing Oki. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope it made sense, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.